Welcome to the EpicMan podcast, where we let our curiosities and theories run wild and sometimes talk relevant news. I'm Josiah, and with me, my two friends and co-hosts, Mike and Joseph, who is actually a guest for today because Ben didn't show up again. But how are you guys doing today?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
I'm feeling it.
It's good to have you here, man. Thanks for showing up once again.
Yeah,
Joseph is like our honorary guest. He's just here to show up, and he's like a mercenary. He just shows up and does what needs to be done when you need him to. So
yeah,
you know, contractor in my 9-to-5, contractor here, just be contracting out here, and someday maybe that'll pay off.
Yeah. Hopefully it does, man. But you know, you don't mind if I share your relationship with Ben to people? Do you? Like,
No, that's fine.
I just want people to know that Joseph, they probably don't realize this, but Joseph is actually Benjamin's brother. So like there's a little bit of a shocking twist there for you guys. So.
Nice deception.
Yeah, you never would have guessed it. You would have hoped that it wasn't true, but ladies and gentlemen, it is true. Factual. Both older and somewhat wiser, and you know, at the end of the day, like there's a couple Greek alphabet or words or letters from the alphabet that definitely can correspond to each other. You can figure out which one Ben is. So,
listen, and I'm just here so I don't get in trouble. I'm just kidding.
No, you're not. You're here because you're a vital part of this podcast.
This is true.
It's true. Yeah, this podcast wouldn't be a thing without you, Mike.
What would Josiah do without me?
I would just talk to myself the entire time and
start a successful YouTube channel, work like a madman.
Yeah, I mean, if I wasn't doing this podcast, I'd be doing something else. So, you know.
Yeah. Man never sleeps, never stops.
Always something to do. So,
yeah.
You just got to keep grinding, man. You just got to keep looking for that next thing, you know.
Be always got to grind.
You got to be hungry for that success. You got to be hungry for the winning. And, yeah. It's all part of life to me.
Some of us don't have any genetic superpowers, so we have to put in the work to make it like we do almost.
It's interesting you say that, because what are we talking about today, Josiah? You know what we're talking about today, Josiah.
I actually don't. What are we talking about today?
You do know what we're talking about today.
I have no idea. I have no idea what we're talking about
superheroes in real life.
We actually wanted to start out the segment by talking smack on my brother.
Yeah. Yeah. We just wanted to give Ben a beat down for like a half an hour before we get started.
It's like the natural thing we do with our podcast. If Ben isn't here, we just roast him for like 10 minutes to get out of the way.
Listen, the last time I wasn't here, I got destroyed.
By Ben.
Dude, he went in. I was like, oh my gosh, this dude.
Ben's like, Michael is never here for the podcast.
He's always late. He's always missing stuff. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, yeah. So
yeah, I mean, hey, if you're gonna dish it, you better take it, you know. Yeah. So,
well, you know, I to start things. Oh, I can barely hear you, Joe.
Yeah, Joe's really quiet for some reason suddenly. I don't know why. It's kind of
that mic right in your mouth.
But go ahead and give your little spiel there, Mike, while we're waiting for Joe to figure out.
We mentioned being hungry, and this is a guy.
Hungry.
I don't know if he's still around. I haven't looked up stuff from him like for a while, but anyways, this guy's name is Michael Letito. He was a French entertainer known as Monsieur Manchow.
Oh wow.
Or Manchow? Okay. I don't know.
Okay.
Or Mr. Eats All. Throughout his career, he consumed all manner of non-consumable objects made of glass, rubber, and metal, which he'd often accompany by downing mineral oil. One of his most impressive feats was consuming an entire airplane, which he ate in small bits over the course of 2 years. There are a couple things going on here. First, he appears to suffer from a condition known as pica, a disorder characterized by an appetite for non-consumable foods like dirt, rocks, and metals.
Oh, yeah, that's Michael Tito.
Yeah.
That guy, yeah.
Yeah. What's truly notable is the abnormally thick lining in his stomach and intestines that made it possible for him to eat sharp metal objects and consume toxic substances, which would have killed a lesser person.
A lesser person.
About hungry.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If I was at that point, I don't know if I'd be doing that, but you know,
like, bro, I'm so hungry. It's time to swallow a rock.
What I'm curious about is my audio back.
Yeah, you're good now. Yeah.
Sound good?
It's probably just a lag in the Wi-Fi, to be honest. I'm in a new area of podcasting. So I kind of wonder if we sequence my genome, is there anything different that would allow me to eat hotter stuff and not feel anything? Because like I did that ghost pepper, like those blazing wings, and I didn't really feel that bad.
Yeah, I mean, it is true that the spicier stuff that you eat, you kind of get used to it and stuff and kind of adapt to it. So,
but I've always kind of been able to handle spicy stuff. So I wonder if that has anything to say about my genes.
Yeah, maybe you're ready to start eating just chunks of metal, you know?
Maybe this is the year to try it.
You have a bike, you can start eating your bicycle there. And...
Oh my goodness. Start eating some barbells, just start shaving the metal off. Been trying to get those gains, but I think it's time to get gains internally.
Yeah. Dude, you'll never be low on iron.
That's true. That's true.
Insides of steel. Yeah, one of the guys that I really thought's like interesting and like he's pretty like well known is like Wim Hof, who's like the Dutchman. He's like the thermoregulator guy, and like to me he's like the key like instance of the human species where like something just doesn't seem like human about him just because he's done so much with thermoregulation. And there's like a college study they recently did on him, and like they validated like all his results. Like he actually can control his temperature, he can regulate it, like he's run marathons in like extreme like 100+ degree weather, and he's been able to keep his body temperature at like 90, I think it's like 98.9 or like whatever the typical body heat is. He was able to keep it regulated the whole time.
Wow.
98.5.
Like drank a beer and some water was good.
Yeah.
Wild stuff.
That guy's an animal. Oh yeah, it's one of the coolest things I think I've ever seen.
Yeah. I've seen like him like in snow and like giant like buckets of ice or something like that. Like he's just chilling, literally, but at the same time not literally, because he can control his own body, and that's just weird, dude. That's crazy.
The research on his stuff kind of inspired me. So like at some point, we should definitely do like an EpicMan video where we explore Wim Hof's thermoregulation breathing techniques, and we should work on it. Maybe we can make a multi-part series and either prove or debunk it based off of our own little scientific experiment. So that would be fun.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
That'd be cold as shit. But
apparently in 2007 he climbed Mount Everest in nothing but shorts as well.
No.
Defeated only by a recurring foot injury.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this guy's an animal, man. Yeah, he's literally built different. Like he's insane.
7,200 meters. That's insane. Like that's unheard of, because I mean, like at that high you can't breathe. That's nuts. Like it's awesome. I mean, I love it. It's just that's crazy. What the frick? This dude's on some new type of stuff. Speaking of, I want to do a little aside real quick, because feats of amazing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
David Blaine, he's done some crazy stuff over the years. The guy's like a magician, but also he's like, I'm gonna bury myself in dirt for like 6 years, and I'm gonna drink nothing but my own urine to stay alive. And you're like, that's not really magic, but whatever. Anyways, he broke the world record for like holding your breath, which was like insane. It was something nuts.
Really?
Yeah, dude. He held his breath for a super long time. But the thing is, he was like explaining his he held his breath for 17 minutes.
Woo!
Which will be enough to kill you. But he was explaining to somebody his breath techniques, and he's like, listen, if you do it this way, you can hold your breath for way longer than you normally can. I can, on average, if I like really push it hard, can hold my breath for about like 2 minutes. Like if I'm pushing it, like I'm getting red in the face and punching walls and stuff. And I did his technique. No joke. I made it to like 3 minutes and 30 seconds, and I stopped on my own. Like, so I'm kind of digging the idea of trying Wim Hof's like thing, because you know these guys, like obviously they have some genetic abilities and they've trained and they've worked, but like, hey, if you got a trick to make my body stronger, like touch my body with your mind. You know,
touch my body to
like
mine.
Only you could make it a little bit sus, but I totally agree. I think we should do a video on Wim Hof's techniques.
I mean, yeah, we could do that for EpicMan and stuff.
We'll go see him.
So,
yeah, listen, man. EpicMan visits Wim Hof, and he'll be like, jump in this ice lake, and I'll be like, you're out of your mind, and I'm going home.
I've actually jumped into an ice lake before. It was actually Lake Superior, and there was like a part of it that was like frozen over, or not Lake Superior. Might have been Lake Superior, but it was what's the other one?
Lake Huron.
Lake Huron,
Ontario.
It was Lake Huron. And so it was like there was like a hole in the ice. There's a hole in the ice, and what we did is we went into like a sauna first, and we went in there. We got as hot as we could, and then we ran out across the snow over to the hole in the ice, and we jumped in. And then you get out, you go back into the sauna, you heat up again, go back out, jump in the water again, and you try to do that as many times as you can. I did it 14 times.
Nice.
The weird thing is that after that, it was in the middle of winter. It was like January. And after that, January, for some reason, felt like July. It was in the middle of the night. And I was walking around in shorts through snow, down a street, everything, and nothing but my swimming trunks. And it literally felt like I was just like walking on a really nice summer night. It was super weird.
It's because you were dying, Josiah. You got close to Valhalla.
They've done research on that as well, Josiah, and that like that hot and cold back and forth, like that's actually supposed to be a huge like immune system booster. So that's another thing too. If you're trying to build that immune system, that's supposedly really good to do. I've actually thought about doing that.
Yeah, it was really fun, and afterwards, like I felt amazing. Like I've never felt that comfortable and relaxed after I got done doing that. It was just like the greatest feeling ever. So
you're an
animal.
animal.
Have to do that for EpicMan this upcoming winter or something. That'd be fun.
Nope. No, I'll do it. So it's funny because when I was because I had something similar. Like when I used to work in the woods all the time, I used to cut wood for a living and like do firewood and stuff. And in the wintertime, you got to keep it going. And yeah, dude. Like eventually, like I used to the first winter I was going there and I had like t-shirt. I had an undershirt, t-shirt, like long sleeve shirt, jacket, coat. Like I was bundled up trying to work and stuff. And after the first winter though, like dude, I was walking around in a t-shirt and like. Sometimes even like pants were too warm and like boots. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude. And it's like sometimes almost negative degrees. And I'm like, I was just working outside. Eventually you forget about it. Like I remember one year, like, dude, all of our beards were like frozen and like sticky with ice and stuff. We were all walking around like t-shirts and stuff because it was like, we're just working. I'm like,
yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. It just makes me wonder, like, what is it about your body that kind of like does that? Do you like confuse your body in a way to think that it's actually warm when it's not, or what? Like, maybe Joe has some answers. Stop. He's the science guy here.
Yeah.
So from everything I could read with regards to like Wim Hof and like his thermal regulation of his body. So what he claimed to be able to do is regulate his like neurochemicals and like regulate like his dopamine response, like his other neurochemical responses. And basically like what he would say is like he would be able to generate those chemicals upon like and by like breathing correctly and like correcting his breathing, meditation techniques. Like it's crazy stuff. Like if you read into him, he's got all kinds of stuff that he's done, and some of it is like scientifically, like I said, scientifically backed research. Like he really does like exhibit these like crazy superhuman skills that are pretty much at this point on command for him. So it kind of changes the way that people look at the human body. Because people always say like, like, oh, you have like an autonomous like part of your nervous system and like you have, your control part. But like in all reality, like that line is like really fine. Like there's a lot that you can do to regulate your body temperature. And like there are people that would freeze and die, but like this guy literally proved that you don't have to freeze and die. Your mental like ability makes a big difference when it comes to like your survival. And like that's really cool to me, the fact that like your mind is literally like you can choose to not die almost in a sense. Like if you know the right techniques to control your body, you can control your body through your mind. So that's awesome.
That is really cool.
It is very cool.
There's a Finnish Olympic skiing champion
Yes.
His name's like Eero Montaranta or something like that. But he actually has like a arthropodin receptor gene that's like modified in his family that allows him to carry upwards of above like 50% more oxygen in his bloodstream. And like that was a while ago. I think that was like in the 50s or the 60s. But like it was crazy. Like the anti-doping agency was all over him because they thought he was taking steroids or something else to enhance his performance. And like, nope, the guy's just built different. So
that's crazy.
That's cool too. I wish I had that. That would make it crazy in terms of being able to get gains in the gym and all kinds of other physical stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I mean, I remember like even seeing like pictures of like people like Shackleton's expedition team and stuff like in Antarctica, and they were just walking around like barely anything in Antarctica because they were like physically working every day to like push these like sleds and stuff across the ice and stuff. So it's just crazy. It's crazy what the body can do. Another thing is that's very interesting is how the body can like adapt to things. So like this guy is literally like Daredevil. Like his name is Daniel Kish, and he lost both of his eyes to retinal cancer by the age of 13, or at the age of 13 months. And as a child, he began to click with his mouth and taught himself to navigate his surroundings using echolocation.
Yep.
So he can like ride a bike. He can like walk down the street by himself. He can do pretty much anything a sighted person can. But he says that his sight is even better due to the fact that he can like see through walls and has like 360-degree vision and stuff. So he just uses like echolocation to be able to see his surroundings, quote unquote see, which is just like super cool. And that's literally like Daredevil, like in real life. It's super cool. So
yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, no, some of the like stuff like that watching that guy, I watched a video on that guy one time, and he was like riding down the bike and like clicking and like just riding down riding on a bike like fast. It wasn't like pedaling. He was like going. I was like, nah, dude, like
I'm pretty sure I watched a video of him playing basketball once too.
Yeah.
And he was literally like playing basketball like anybody else.
Yeah. It's like
and he was just clicking and stuff. Like, yeah, it was
crazy.
That
just goes to show you again too, like your body's equipped with a lot of fail safes and other mechanisms to where you can kind of adapt if you have damaged receptors, like be it your eyes or your hands or your feet. Like there are other ways to adapt. And like a lot of people just get stuck in like they're kind of, I mean, it's like kind of like the prison of the mind. Like there's a lot that you can do. You just really have to like realize that you're not limited as much as you think you are.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like, it's a myth that you only use 3% of your brain, but I don't think it's a myth that you don't think outside the box as a typical human being. Because like, a lot of people can't do that are blind. The difference between Daniel Kish and all the other blind people is instead of, focusing on his disability, like he pretty much probably started to channel other methods of trying to like interact with his environment. And I mean, it goes to show you like maybe there's something to that, like explore your other senses. And I think honestly there's probably other people that could learn that too, even with their eyesight being maintained.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's awesome. I'm like, wow, like that's kind of nuts. I mean, because we know your body adapts when like you lose stuff, so automatically they have like an advantage because their brain's like, hey, we got to strengthen this. But like, if we could figure out a way to like push our bodies to strengthen parts of our selves that like, I know people that are like still that are in their like 70s and 80s, and some of this is genetic, but like they're still in their 70s and 80s. They don't even need glasses. Like we're always told like when you get older, you're seeing and your hearing and stuff goes. But there's still people that like have like amazing like senses even in their like old age, or like you have like older people that are still like extremely strong and like extremely athletic, and part of that is like them pushing themselves, but part of it is like almost that will of like, I'm not gonna just let myself get old. I'm not saying that like all old people like that's their fault, or whatever. Like be stronger, will. But there certainly is, and I think that's something we've learned a lot more recently in history is that like our mind and our perception of things like really affects how we like live, and it really affects how we respond to the world and how our bodies respond to stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I truly do believe that if you're someone that's gonna be like you know, as you're getting older and stuff, you're just gonna be like, oh, I'm getting old and stuff. You know, I gotta stop doing this and stop doing this, and I'm just gonna sit around and retire or whatever. You know, like I really feel like that those types of people, you know, how do I want to say this? Like degrade more quickly than people who stay active and stuff and continue to try to be as young as they can, you know. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's like age is not, it's not just a mindset. Like your body does decay, like your telomeres, like they do end up, you know, reducing in length over time, and like you end up decaying. But like there's a lot to be said about your mindset. And also I was just reading like a study, there is something to be said about actually some intermittent fasting and controlling what you eat to a certain degree, because your body, a lot of your serotonin is generated in your stomach, and there's also supposedly some other chemicals that are like ideal for body like building and like regrowth and like healing aspects that are only released when your body's in a hunger state. So I don't know how much scientific research is backing this, but supposedly there's some correlation between people looking younger and maintaining their physicality longer by doing some intermittent fasting and by controlling how much they eat, because your body only pushes itself to its limits and its potential when it's you know, when it's pushed that way, you know, like when you push yourself that way by not always being full, whether it's mentally or physically, like your body has to achieve more when it's in those states. And I think that that's like, that can definitely like result in some like bigger results than you would expect by just like pushing yourself to like not stay in the status quo. Because when you're just settled and when you're kind of just like relegated to like what's comfortable, your body kind of deteriorates and your mind can deteriorate, and it can lead downhill over time. But I think that you can definitely combat that.
Yeah, absolutely,
exactly. Yeah, I think it's good to always kind of be at least in some way kind of in a state of some discomfort and stuff, you know. It doesn't have to be anything major, but if you're kind of like, you know, forcing yourself to kind of be pushing yourself constantly in different areas, I think that's really good for you. So
absolutely.
Yeah, not like a masochistic type of way, but like by just challenging yourself a little bit, like working out requires pain. Doing homework excessively, like trying to do difficult math or like engineering problems, that causes mental stress sometimes, but like that can produce all types of growth. And I feel like it can really like, it can change your whole mentality. Like, so I think that's like my biggest thing is like, I always am telling people like, I need to work on it more, but like just do something that makes you uncomfortable a little bit, whether it's physical or mental. And like, I think that eventually you'll see some really cool positive side effects produced from that. And like, obviously don't do anything that's harmful, but like within reasons, like I think that's cool. And like, I think that's like, I don't know, like beyond a genetic level, like there's a lot to be said about that. Like probably a lot of these people that we've looked at, like especially like you know, who we were talking about earlier, like Wim Hof, like he does it all in his mind supposedly. And if that's the case, like what are we missing out on?
Yeah, exactly. Like one of the things that I've been doing recently, probably in like the past 6 months or so, is like I have like a couple different like brain game apps or something like that on my phone. I also have like chess on my phone as well. So if I'm like, you know, using my phone, like, you know, on the toilet or something like that, instead of just being like, hey, you know, I'm going to watch a YouTube video, I'm like, okay, you know, instead of doing that, I'm going to instead play a game of chess, or I'm going to do one of these brain games or something and try to give my mind a little bit of exercise and stuff in that way. So, you know, some of that type of stuff is good too. So
yeah, absolutely. Continue on with superpowers real quick, because got a list of stuff, and I thought this was really cool too. There's a girl, her name was Natasha Dimkina. Yeah, a girl named Natasha Dimkina. Apparently she was described to have X-ray vision.
What?
And I was like, wait a minute, you know. So I read about this girl, but check this out. So like, hey, I know it's crazy. She, when she was 10, she found that she could scan her mother's body and described in intimate detail the location and condition of all her mother's organs. And then apparently doctors had her come in to test her abilities. She was able to draw a diagram of one doctor's stomach with a dark area in the exact spot of his ulcer.
Oh, wow.
She also contested the cancer diagnosis of one patient. Later tests supported her diagnosis of a benign cyst. Yeah. In England, X-ray scans of another doctor led her to describe multiple injuries that one of the doctors had received in a severe car crash without any knowledge of the accident, and the doctor was fully clothed. And a lot of people have questioned her abilities and whether or not that's true. But I'm like, you know what? Either that or she's either a super sleuth and she figured all this stuff out and you guys didn't know how to do it. Or, you know, I mean, it's just funny to me because, like, she somehow figured all this stuff out. Like, I mean, and she knew this stuff. But, yeah, there's a lot of people that like have contested her, but she's even said that sometimes, like, when people have tried to like test her abilities, they restrict her and they're like, oh, well, we want it a certain way and stuff like that. So yeah, like, I don't know, some of this, there's like obviously some controversy around all of this stuff, but it's kind of interesting to see like how somebody claims to have X-ray vision and like you have people that are like surprised by, hey, this chick is doing some stuff that nobody's ever seen done before. You know, it's not like,
well,
it's
if she can like literally like draw pictures of somebody's stomach with like the dark spots, that's pretty insane.
Yeah,
that's like pretty insane.
Yeah.
So I don't know, she's got something special going on. So
yeah. There's one guy.
I like to believe that it's just all, like, not to be hokey about it, but like, I mean, food's energy, like we input energy to our bodies. We are in an essence, like if we stop eating, we eventually die because of lack of energy. Like our body's energetic systems like cease to function. I mean, I like to think that there are some people that are able to maybe tap into more types of energy. Cause like,
yeah,
really at the end of the day, like, everything's dictated off of laws, but like we're human. I mean, a lot of our, you know, our limitations are because of like our claimed humanity. But like, I think that there's a lot more to be said about what we possibly can do than like what we can't do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, one of the interesting things about this girl is a guy named Brian Joseph, who's a Nobel Prize winning physicist and parapsychologist. He criticized some of the testing that they did on her and said that he said that some of the results should have been inconclusive, because he said the odds of her achieving 4 matches out of 7 during the testing that she did, just that alone, was a 2% like possibility, making her success rate a statistically significant result. And then he said that some of the testing was like actually kind of like skewed against her, but that it was impressive because she couldn't just blindly guess some of these things. But even if she could just look at somebody and like Sherlock Holmes them, it was still pretty impressive, and that it was something that most people couldn't just do.
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah. I believe, I'm trying to see if she's, what year she was born and stuff like that. I mean, she's been around. I mean, she had like a whole thing done on her, like a documentary in 2004.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to check into that.
She works for the Center of Special Diagnostics. So she still works with people. Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should find her and be like, yo, X-ray me, baby. Let's go.
Tell me what's wrong with my body. And she'll be like, there's nothing wrong with your body.
Be like, oh, well, phew. Woo!
Yeah. Oh, honey, you were scaring me for a little bit. Yeah.
Or what we could do is swallow a rock and then go to her and be like,
what's wrong with you? She's like, you probably swallowed a rock because you're sweating. You're like, well,
I told you to kick rocks, not to eat them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you caught me. Yeah. No, so X-ray girl, it's kind of legit, you know?
Yeah.
What do you do with that?
Exactly. Like, what do you do with that?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want that ability. I wouldn't want to be able to see people's guts and insides.
You know what power I would want?
What?
Super strength.
Yeah? If you could choose any power, that would be the power that you choose.
Well, probably telekinesis, to be honest, but nobody has telekinesis. So, there's like stories about chi and stuff, but I want like straight up telekinesis, like picking stuff up in my brain.
Like, what's his face? Professor X and stuff.
Nope, he has telepathy. How dare you?
He can. Oh no, his daughter. That's right.
That's not his daughter. Josiah, you're gonna get. Oh, you're gonna discredit the entire podcast. No, you're talking about Jean Grey. She's not his daughter.
It's been a while.
Jean Grey. She's not his daughter. Oh my goodness gracious.
Okay, this is just a test between the actual nerd and the wannabe nerd.
Yeah, I guess so. And listen, I was trying to segue into something, and you just bend it. You're just like,
Yeah, you're
really,
probably trying to go for like some sort of story about some guy with super strength or something.
Yeah, I was actually.
I want super strength.
He was trying to transition into that, and you just
then
took all his strength.
Josiah just threw a penny in front
And
of
I'm
my
like,
train.
really? You want super strength? And you're like, well.
I mean, like, yeah, but also, like, if you're really gonna call me on it, there are other powers that would be pretty cool to have too. But
I mean,
I don't know. I personally
would take
think that
teleportation.
invisibility would be pretty fire.
Invisibility.
You could sneak in and listen to people's conversations. You could gather intel on all types of stuff.
Be
you could go all types of places you shouldn't.
Would you have to be naked though? That's the problem.
No.
True.
Because what if you're like the guy that like has to get naked to get invisible, and everybody's
that's also fine. Who cares?
Well,
I'll be naked.
I don't want to be naked.
Just don't brush up against anyone, and it's not wrong.
That's fresh. No, I mean, super strength is high up on the list of things that might be kind of fun to have.
I would segue into something worse after saying that comment, but
I know, right?
Go for it.
Here.
Well, let me get my super strength thing out of here.
We don't keep derail my train again.
Well,
no, I just was gonna joke about like how awkward would that be if you're naked and like you like popped a boner or something, and like you're like you like have to slip through like a crack, like your super spy level, like you'd be screwed. Like,
oh no.
I mean, I don't know if I could slip through a crack with the boner, but I could slip my crack or my boner into a crack. So.
Oh my goodness! So you're just eavesdropping on like the prime minister or something.
Listen, oh my gosh!
Don't get me wrong. Like I don't know what's going on, but like,
no.
Hey, I don't think I'd have a boner if I was listening to the prime minister though. But yeah.
Listen, I didn't say who all was in that room, man.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, you could do a lot of really naughty, nasty things with invisibility.
Yeah.
Listen, guys listening.
Okay.
Listen, guys listening. If you ever have an erection, don't know what to do with it. Flex your leg muscle as hard as you possibly can and watch that bad boy disappear in seconds. I just want to give that advice to somebody.
Wow.
Wow, with the scientific advice. Most of the time I see people doing like testimonials on like how to keep boners, but you talking about how to lose one, that blew my mind.
Listen, there's nothing scarier when you're invisible and spying on somebody than having a boner.
Okay, so I have a question. If you like,
oh no, don't do this.
If you are invisible and you like,
I knew you were
something.
No, I knew
you
were
ejaculate. Does your semen then become invisible, or
once it leaves your body? Yes.
It depends on the type of invisibility, because sometimes maybe the stuff out of your body is also just invisible in air.
True. Well, then that brings us to the question: what makes you truly invisible?
Wait, the interesting thing: can you see your appendages if you're invisible? Are you invisible to yourself?
Should be. Depends on the invisibility.
Probably. I would think you would probably be.
If you were
because that would be scary. Because like in terms of like being careful, like what if you had to use a knife and you're invisible?
Yeah, exactly. I feel like you could really hurt yourself pretty easily if you were invisible.
Especially naked.
Coordination.
Yeah, dude, that'd be horrible. Imagine just like accidentally like slicing that against something and then just being like, I don't know, bleeding everywhere.
Yeah, that sounds like it could be problematic for sure.
People just see
it's
like
problematic for Mike, as shown by his current position that he's.
We're supposed to be talking about superheroes.
All I know is
we're talking about cutting our dicks off because we're invisible and spying on the prime minister.
For there to be superheroes, there have to be anti-heroes, and that's where sometimes the discussion has to turn, Mike.
What's the anti-hero? You cut your dick off with a knife.
That's pretty anti-hero.
I mean, Deadpool's an anti-hero, and it sounds like something he would do. So
yeah, but he can grow it back. That's the difference. That's why he cuts his dick off.
All I know is I'd take teleportation for my superpower.
Teleportation would be good too.
What kind of teleportation?
Only if you could determine like with precision where you were teleporting to, because if that shit was imprecise, like you would have some issues.
Yeah, that'd be bad. That'd be
like you try to teleport beyond a wall, but you end up teleporting into the wall and you suffocate before you can teleport out.
You'd be freaking dead, dude.
Yeah. Teleport with something like through your organs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yeah, you have to be careful.
We're starting to explore how precise you have to determine the ability for it to be beneficial, because with a couple like caveats or exceptions, it could be absolutely terrible for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
But
I mean, we're talking about really deep stuff now. So
yeah, well, speaking of deep
you got to
stuff,
look at the details, right?
sometimes deep stuff can be heavy stuff. You know who can lift really heavy stuff?
Not you with this conversation.
Tell us, Mike.
A guy named Louis Cyr.
Louis Cyr.
He was a French Canadian strongman.
Oh boy.
Listen to this. You guys will not believe this is
Wait,
nuts.
He's Canadian and he's a strongman?
Well, he's French Canadian. There's a
That
difference.
sounds
That's
like,
even worse.
I know. This is crazy. Listen, he one time his recorded feats. He one time lifted 500 pounds with one finger.
What?
And then one time he backlifted, which means he like had it and he just upped it. 4,337 pounds.
Wow.
He's considered to be one of the strongest men that's ever lived.
That's pretty insane.
Yeah. Can you do that? I couldn't do that.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
He pushed a freight car up an incline at one time. When he was 19 years old, he lifted a rock off from the ground.
Let's see. I'm looking up what weighs 4,300 pounds.
Are you ready for this? It's going to be heavy, bro.
Rhinoceroses apparently weigh 4,600 pounds.
This guy could lift a rhinoceros.
Yeah. This guy is like chucking rhinos everywhere, you know.
Dude,
he could literally lift like some cars and stuff. Like,
yeah,
like he could easily lift some of these cars.
Yeah. Well, so
crazy,
funny story. This is not Louis Cyr, but it's a story that I've heard before. Mark Henry, who's like a WWE wrestler, but also like one of the strongest men in the world.
Mm-hmm.
One time, apparently, like their tour bus, like the WWE tour bus, got stuck because somebody like parallel parked badly in front of them, and they're like, "Bro, what do we do? Like, we don't know how to get out of this spot." So Mark Henry got out and like grabbed this dude's back of this dude's car, lifted it up, and like moved it out of the way so the truck could pull out.
Wow.
So, but this guy was strong enough to probably just pick the car up over his head and throw it. Yeah.
Just sling it up on his back and be like, "Yeah, I'll just carry this over here. No big deal."
One of his feats, he actually has a picture of it too. Like, he had 2 or 4 draught horses, like the giant, huge, like thoroughbred horses.
Yeah.
And he had 2 in each hand, and he had them pull his arms out, and he kept them together.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
That's insane. Yeah, I wouldn't want to get smacked by that guy.
Yeah. One time, one of his let me see here. Yeah, he also did the same thing again for Queen Victoria with a team of draught horses during her visit. One time in Ottawa, he volunteered with police when they took deputies to round up a local gang of miscreants, and they turned him away, claiming he'd be too slow because of how bulky and big he was. And he challenged the officers to a foot race, and he beat most of them.
Jeez.
Yeah. And then after that, he patrolled as a policeman for a while.
Well,
yikes! Could you imagine getting arrested by that guy? Yeah.
You want to be trying to get away from that guy, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Be like, no, you're gonna sit right here. Just grabs you. Just
like, yes, sir. Because what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, some of that guys
grabs you by like the back of your neck and just holds you up in the air. Be like, dude.
Yeah.
You can't do anything at that point.
It's really funny. But yeah, man.
Wow.
I don't know. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. That is crazy.
Imagine.
You know, also is crazy. I just had the cat jump up on me and scratch the heck out of my knee. So.
Oh, nice.
You know,
well, my cat did that to me last night. I'll have to show you because my cat got me real. I
have like some rakes, blood. Like some big like claw marks across my leg right now.
Dude, it's really.
I love animals, but yeah, the claws are not it sometimes.
So talking about Louis
Cyr, whatever. Yeah.
What we need to do is we need to see what happens when he is pitted against God Hand. Do you know?
Oh yes,
God Hand
Vasily Kamatsky. Is that what you're talking about?
God Hand?
No.
What?
I'm talking about Choi Young-woo.
What?
Later known as Masutatsu Oyama, was popular for his super karate. Korea-born, could kill a bull with his bare hands. In his lifetime, he fought and killed 52 bulls. He could kill with one blow, and was considered the living demonstration of the Japanese troopers' adage, one strike, certain death.
That's wild.
So
That's
apart from
nuts.
fighting livestock, he got himself tested in a kumite, a series of 2-minute combats against various opponents. So this guy is literally like One Punch Man in real life. So
That's amazing.
like one punch and he literally kills a bull. So
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't want to
Hey,
take
I
that
mean,
guy off.
52
Yeah.
bulls?
At that point, I'd take Lewis Sear over a God Hand, to be honest.
This guy fought 52 bulls.
Yeah, he just punches them right in between the eyes and they just drop dead.
Imagine what he can do to a human though, because the bull's skull is hella hard.
Oh,
like,
dude, yeah. Uh-huh.
yeah. He's causing some severe trauma to that brain.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
slapping it like a sponge off the walls.
Bull's like, yeah, I'm done, dude. I can't do
Yeah.
anything after that hit. He
No.
just dies.
He shakes his fist and walks away.
Yeah.
Crunch.
That's crazy.
So, I mean, you know, him versus Lewis Sear would be an epic fight.
Dude, I'd watch the crap out of that fight.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be the first pay-per-view I'd actually pay for.
Yeah, for real, dude.
Instead
I'd
of,
watch that.
watching it on Reddit or something.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that guy's insane, dude.
Yeah, that's on some next level stuff right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's wow. Well, it reminds me of I mean, obviously not as crazy, but still pretty interesting. Like all the feats like Bruce Lee had back in his day, like his 1-inch punch.
Mhm.
Apparently, his 1-inch punch was harder than one guy. Like he had a chest pad, so it didn't stop his heart. And he got hit. And he said it was the hardest hit he'd ever taken in his life from 1 inch away.
Jeez.
And he said he had bruised chest and everything through padding.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
My question is, why is it these people don't ever become actual superheroes?
Well, that's
Yeah.
a good question. I mean, Bruce Lee kind of did, sort of. Maybe.
I mean,
I don't know.
sort of. I mean, what we have is Phoenix Jones and things like that.
Yeah. Well, hey, those guys are going out and they're doing the real life stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about real life superheroes. These guys that go out in the front lines and yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Phoenix Jones.
yeah,
Bulletproof vest.
yeah, Phoenix Jones is out there, man.
Yeah. Well, he got arrested, but
Yeah. It seems to be a common theme with all these guys that actually try to become superhero vigilantes and stuff.
yeah.
They put you away and they dose you up on a bunch of pills to make you crazy. Typical government stuff.
Yeah. Well, according to this, one of the first ever real life superheroes that was ever recorded in the United States was a guy named Captain Sticky.
Oh no.
I mean,
That
apparently-
sounds a little sus, Mike.
Well, that's what I thought. Wait till you find out what
Can he
happened to
turn
Captain
invisible?
Sticky. Apparently, he was clad in a blue jumpsuit with a gold cape and boots, and he drove the Sticky Mobile.
Oh no.
The Sticky
Campaign-
Mobile sounds like it's the white 12 passenger with no windows.
Yeah.
Hey, it gets better. It gets better. He
Was
used
he
to
handing
campaign
out
against.
candy?
No, apparently not. No, that would have been a little too much. I think. He campaigned against abuses in nursing homes. He supplied information on health insurance frauds to authorities. He testified before the Federal Trade Commission, wearing his uniform and stuff. And then in 1986, he got arrested because he rented his home to a film crew to shoot pornography. Captain Sticky got arrested for being sticky.
Oh my goodness. Well, with that name, I knew it was going to lead somewhere that route.
What do you do with that news?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. He took that stickiness a little bit too far.
Yeah.
And it got him in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mommy, it's the Sticky Mobile.
Oh no,
Not
the Sticky Man.
Mobile,
Captain Sticky is here. Yeah.
Get inside, kids.
I know, right? I'm trying to find somebody that actually has done actual superheroing. I mean, Phoenix Jones is one of the rare ones that actually has helped people.
He apparently has made over 130 arrests as his time as a hero. He literally had a mask on and an entire suit, and his suit actually looks legit. It looks it actually looks like Bible Man a little bit, not gonna lie.
Oh my goodness, Bible Man.
Yeah, dude, his suit was
throwback.
legit. It was stab proof, and he had some stab proof vests and stuff on.
He is also married to a fellow real life superhero.
Yeah,
known as Purple Rain.
it's legit.
So
Isn't there a song called
Yeah, by Prince. That's probably where she got it. She was like, I
yeah,
can do this.
probably. That's what I'm saying.
but
yeah.
then he was arrested for assaulting someone with the pepper spray he carried in his kit.
Yep. Then he got arrested for having a bunch of drugs.
Yeah.
How the
So
mighty have fallen.
yeah. I
Sad.
mean, you know,
Hey, got to keep your mind open somehow. Sometimes you need a little bit of chemical creativity.
yeah.
Sometimes you got to snort the coke so
You
can
either
fight the crime.
die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. So
Yeah, Captain Sticky, and hey, that's where they got it from.
Oh my goodness.
I just can't get over that name. Some guy was like, I'm going to be a superhero called Captain Sticky.
Man.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty
Captain
cringe.
Sticky.
It's pretty cringe.
Yeah. Oh, snap. In Australia, there's a guy, they call him the Black Rat of Sydney. He carries a utility belt and a backpack containing a fire blanket, fire extinguisher, first aid kit, and drinking water. He wears a special black knife-resistant clothing and wears a black mask.
Wow.
He campaigns for better lighting in the streets and more community involvement in neighborhoods.
Okay.
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 Yeah. It's kind of interesting. But I mean, other than that, most of these people are just weird dudes walking around in suits.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I feel like there's like a fine line, and I feel like even if they don't have mental health issues, the government probably spreads rumors about them that purport that they do, so they can lock them up for longer.
Yeah.
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 Dude, here's a
Nobody
good one.
wants a vigilante in a big government-run system.
No,
Well, yeah, especially the government. They're like, no.
I
Put that
like
guy
this
away.
one.
Lock him up.
This one's one of my favorite ones. There's a guy in the United Kingdom named Angle Grinder Man, and he goes through and uses an angle grinder to illegally cut wheel clamps off of vehicles.
What?
But as of right now, the police said that they have never received word or complaint of his actions. And I'm like, of course not, because he's cutting that, he's wheel grinding these things off. He's like, no,
You don't get a tow. You don't get a tow.
put a boot on your vehicle. He just cuts it off, and they're like, why would I turn this guy in? Like,
Wow.
yeah,
The AG Army angle grinder.
yep.
Apparently,
It's amazing.
Beijing has their own superhero as well, the Red Bud Woman.
Wow.
She dons a skin tight black outfit, bright blue mask, and flowing black cape, and she gives out coats and food to the homeless.
That's amazing.
So there you go.
Yeah.
And I don't think she's been arrested. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, some of these guys like dress up like, and it's kind of gimmicky to be like, hey, we want to,
Yeah.
help out, and we do stuff like that, but then like some of these guys are legitimately fighting crime.
I'm
Apparently,
trying to remember, there was like Michigan had its own Batman at one point. Let me see if I can find up some information about this guy.
That's wild.
well, this guy in South London, he's called the Bromley Bat. He apparently is clad in combat trousers and a muscle top, and he apparently has like stopped like gangs wielding knives and stuff like that, and like have rescued people. That like one dude said that he was out walking, and he's like, guys came up to him with knives and were like, give us all your stuff. And out of nowhere, this dude came dressed like a superhero and like kicked them and like beat the crap out of a couple of the guys, and they ran away.
Jeez.
And he's been like reported all over like South London.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Apparently Italy has a bunch of like masked vigilantes as well.
That's amazing.
We might need those soon with the way America's going, with all the police forces being defunded and the murder rates going up by like 50-60% major cities.
I used to want to be a masked vigilante, so
It's gonna be time soon. I just heard on the news that like Atlanta's murder rate's up by like 60% this year. They had like 250 people that they still haven't replaced on their police force.
jeez,
Oh my goodness.
that's crazy. So I found him. Petoskey Batman.
Petoskey's up near where my grandparents live. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of where we used to live, sort of. So, a Michigan man nicknamed the Petoskey Batman, after he was arrested while wearing a Batman costume on a roof, was sentenced to 6 months of probation.
Oh no.
Wayne Williams, 32 of Harbor Springs, was arrested May 11 after being spotted on a Petoskey rooftop while wearing a Batman costume and carrying weapons, including a baton-like striking weapon, a can of chemical irritant spray, and a pair of sand-filled sap gloves. The worst part about it is that this guy is like super fat, is like really, really fat, and he's in like a skin tight Batman outfit.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Man, the police probably were cringing when they bagged that guy.
That's amazing, dude.
Apparently he tried to wear his Batman suit while he was in probation, and they didn't let him. So they're like,
he was banned
goes up to court. They're like, "Sir, you need to wear clothes."
Yeah.
I like my Batman suit.
Oh,
but I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
Oh no. Dude.
I am Batman.
I killed my own parents to be Batman. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Confession.
Yeah.
Well, there was this is getting we're getting so off, but this is still pretty great. There was the one guy who back in 2004, there was a guy who was fighting for fathers' rights in London, and he got in a Batman costume and climbed Buckingham Palace. Yep.
Oh wow.
And then he just sat on the ledge, and like the cops were like, "Hey, mate, get over here." And he's like, "No,
come down in it."
Yeah, he was there for like hours before he finally just was like, "Okay, fine, you can arrest me."
That's hilarious.
Yeah, apparently they could not figure out how he got on the ledge, and they got really upset because they were trying to figure it out. Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
That's amazing.
Points for creativity, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there was a guy. I think there was a guy dressed as Batman that climbed the White House too.
Really?
At one point, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Well, Batman's everywhere, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He shows up in many different forms. Some larger.
Oh, this guy
than
wasn't a
others.
Batman. He was just a random dude.
Oh, okay. Well.
Yeah. But still.
He tried, I guess.
Yeah. Well, he failed. No, dude. But like, yeah. There was like going back to like super feats and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
I mentioned Bruce Lee, and he has like some like unbroken like things that he's done. Like he broke 45 kilo sandbag with a sidekick one time.
Wow.
Yeah, he. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the video of him playing ping pong with nunchucks.
No.
Like he's like playing against a dude who's like a professional ping ponger, and he's just literally using nunchucks and he's just hitting them back to people and stuff.
Wow.
He was so fast that he could like snatch a nickel off of a guy's hand and leave a dime in its place. Yeah,
That's crazy.
he could put his finger through an unopened can of Coca-Cola back when it was still made out of steel.
Huh. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
He could hit out the heavy fist of a 350 pounds. He could hit out the heavy fist of, okay, so his punches like were weighed in at like 350 pounds. And the other person that could do that was Muhammad Ali, but Bruce Lee weighed 130 pounds.
Wow. Okay.
So like
That's
130
crazy.
pound dude could punch as hard as Muhammad Ali could.
Dang.
He could kick 6 times in the air in 1 second.
Wow. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he was an animal, man.
Yeah. He
But-
kicked the guy 20 meters with 1 foot.
Really?
Yeah, he kicked the guy like the guy was wearing
That can't
armor.
be
and
true.
stuff.
That's 60 feet.
He kicked the dude. It says 20 meters.
60 feet. That's ridiculous.
What?
Yeah.
That's insane. What?
Yeah. Let me find it right here.
Is that even like physically possible? Like,
I don't think so. But you know what? If it is, that's incredible.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't
I've
know,
never
man.
heard of
It would
anyone
be
being able
hard
to
to
do
kick
something like
somebody
that.
like 10 feet, let alone 60 feet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if they were
Exactly.
like 50 pounds, even if he was kicking a child, like still.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I don't
Like-
know what to tell you, man. I'm just telling you what the thing says.
Huh.
You wanna go
Maybe if
find-
he like, ran and did like one of those like jump up and kick in the chest type
These
things.
are
maybe,
actual.
or- I don't know.
Okay, so these are official, like
Official.
world records held by him.
Okay.
He's the only human to break a 45 kilogram sandbag with a sidekick.
Okay.
Let me see. I don't know kilograms of pounds are. Oh, geez, I'm such
Yeah.
a 90. That's 100 pounds. It's 99 pounds.
Okay.
He kicked a 100-pound sandbag with a sidekick and broke it in half. He could
Wow.
produce 1,600 pounds of force using nunchucks. He could punch 9 times in 1 second with his 1-inch punch. Or he could punch 9 times in 1 second. His 1-inch punch could force a 75 kilogram opponent 5 to 6 meters away.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So let's see what's
Okay, so that's okay.
The 165
Still
pound
15
guy.
to 18 feet roughly. That's
He could kick 6 times in 1 second. Could spring a 200-pound guy with safeguard armor into the sky. Once a 200-pound guy flew 20 meters away after Bruce Lee kicked him.
That's insane.
According to available data,
that sounds superhuman. That's ridiculous.
According to available data, he could do around 1,500 push-ups with both hands in one go, 400 on one hand, 200 on one finger, and 100 on one thumb.
Wow, that's insane.
He holds the record for kicking 135 kilogram, which we're doing math
and
here.
People complain about joint pain, and this man's just out there like flexing push-ups, 200 push-ups.
297 pounds. He kicked a 297-pound bag and hit the ceiling with it, which was like 5 meters high.
That's
insane.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I guess it's legit.
Crazy.
You know, that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what to say, man.
But you know who can beat Bruce Lee?
Don't say it.
Cliff Booth.
Was he? Oh, you mean the guy with the gun?
No.
What?
The guy from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh no! I thought you were talking about the guy. See, I thought we were still talking about superheroes, bro. No, that movie doesn't count. That's a fictional movie.
Hey, Quentin Tarantino made it happen. So
I didn't even know who Cliff Booth was. I had to look that up. I was like, what?
Oh my gosh, you make me so.
It's from
angry.
a Quentin Tarantino movie.
You make me so mad sometimes. You know that? I thought you were talking. Now I got confused. I thought you were talking about Bob Munden. I was like, look at this.
Yeah, no, frick.
It's okay.
Bob
Josiah's
Munden.
acting out of pocket because he's tired or something. It's not me. The one
we can't see his face. We can't see his face, and so he's getting yelled at. No, I thought you were going to talk about Bob Munden. He was a guy. He was like he was considered the fastest hand in the West. The fastest man with a gun who ever lived. He holds 18 world records in the sport of fast draw.
Oh yeah, I saw a video of him once shooting. That guy's like insane.
Yeah,
insane.
He has. Let me see here. His hand is withstanding 10 G's of force when his weapon is drawn.
Jeez.
Yeah, and then in a demo, he used a Colt 45 single-action revolver. He shot 2 balloons 6 feet apart in less than 1/10 of a second.
Wow.
Yeah, the dude could literally throw a coin up and just shoot it out of the air.
Yeah.
But
so in other words, you just don't want to mess with that type of person.
No.
I mean, it kind of reminds me of the samurai guy. What's his name? I can't remember his name, but he could literally slice a pellet, like a plastic pellet, like BB pellet.
Yeah.
From an airsoft gun in half from 200 feet away that's being shot at him with
that's crazy
katana.
What do you do with that?
Yeah.
What do you do with that guy?
He you know how small those pellets are.
Oh yeah.
That being shot at you and then slicing it in half with a sword as it's flying at you.
It's insane.
That's insane, dude.
That is wild.
Yeah. There's crazy people out there. There's people with really amazing abilities. And we just I think we kind of tapped just the surface of it for the most part in this video.
Oh yeah.
But,
I mean, we could have wrapped it all up and brought it back to the potential aliens and those connections. Maybe these people are just aliens.
Dude, I like where you're going with that.
We can follow up with this later.
Yeah. The lizard people are stronger than us, so
different genomes or just aliens, because you know what?
Who knows? Definitely.
Yeah.
So with that being said, that is going to be it for this week's episode. Make sure that you leave a like, leave a comment, all that good stuff if you're watching us on YouTube. And if you're watching us or listening to us on your favorite podcast platform, please make sure to leave a review. We highly appreciate it. Thank you, Joseph, for coming back on again. And we will catch you all in the next podcast. Bye.
Bye.